Good evening and welcome to my live stream. I'm your host, Bob Pace, and we're going to hear the Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. Now, you probably wonder what CPS is. It stands for the Child Protection System. It's found in every county and every state. It's also found worldwide. People worldwide are listening to me. I want to first apologize for this morning. I had a family emergency come up. I was unable, and I got back at about 15 minutes too late to do my live stream. I tried to reschedule it several times through the course of the day, but it was booked. So tonight I'm making up for the morning and the evening live stream. I'm here to help you with your child protection system. And I know that most of you were scrambling, and this morning not having me. I hope that didn't hurt you guys this morning when that happened. Beyond my control, I really tried to make it back in time, but this family emergency came up that it was beyond more than controlled. I've been doing this show regularly now for 24 months, twice a day, 25 months, to be honest with you. I've talked to 2,950 people. So, anyway, I'm here to help you with your case. Now, I call it the Child Protection System. It has many different names and many different counties. Like in Kentucky, Richmond, Kentucky, it's called the Cabinet. In California, Los Angeles County is called the Department of Family and Children's Services. In Orange County, next door to you in California, it's called the Child Protection Services. Anyway, whatever name it is, like in Prescott, Arizona's Department of Children's Services, I make it simple. Anything that does with the protection of children from neglect or abuse, I call the Child Protection System. And I just abbreviate CPS for short. Everybody knows, well, not everybody knows CPS, but you can recognize that. So anyway, I'm here to help you with your case. I'm here to answer your questions or your concerns. Now, I don't give out legal advice. I have an attorney that does it. His name is Vincent W. Davis, because I'm not an attorney, but I have 25 years of fighting CPS. For the first 5 years, I was fighting them with false allegations. Then in 2015, they came down hard and they demanded my children that weren't in danger. and they're looking for ways to make your life miserable. It was a miserable experience. At first, I tried to use the court appointed attorney, but that was useless. So I found Vincent Davis, I used him, and he got my children back. Unfortunately, one of my children was collateral damage, meaning the social worker took it out on us family because she was caught committing perjury on the witness stand. She lied in court. She lied in court. What had happened is that my daughter, who was 12 at the time, was coerced in divorcing her parents, changing her birth certificate, changing her name, and be adopted by foster care. And it was sad because the judge and the CASA and the social worker behind it, they encouraged it. They put ideas into her head that something was wrong with her mom and dad, and that the greatest way to fix it would be the divorces. That's a horrible experience to go through. To have a child who's being coerced, not only by the social worker, by the CASA rep that she had, and the judge of the court. And that was the sad part about that. There are pictures and evidence of her, of the judge sitting with our daughter. They used to exploit my daughter to drum up business for CASA. CASA is the court appointed service advocate, and every person in the courtroom will have one. It's supposed to be somebody you could open up your heart and tell the truth to, but they don't. They use you and they give the information to the child protection system, social services department there. So anyway, it's a horrible experience to talk about my lost daughter. She's 23 now. She's 23 now. Now, this particular live stream is broadcast twice a day. It's on at 10 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday, and on the weekend at 8 a.m. And then in the evening is on at 7 p.m. every night of the week, except there's some nights that I move it up early because of family engagements. And so that's twice a day. That's 14 shows a week. Now, one of the things you can do right away right now is you can text me a message, either in a form of a comment or a question about CPS. Make sure to enter your name and where you're from. Now, if you're outside of the United States, then list your country. If you're inside the United States, you'll need to put the country USA because I know from the states that all the states are in the country. Now, some of the countries, we've had 25 of them. They start at Indonesia, Bangladesh, and India, then up to the Middle East to Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Libya, then over to Africa, the continent of Africa. They have um, Liberia, Sudan, Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Mozambique, and the country of South Africa and its provinces. Then up to Europe, it's England, it's the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, and Wales. Also, um, Sweden and Denmark have texted in or called in to talk to me. They're one of the 2,950 people. Then we go across the pond to North America. It's Canada and its provinces. Then we got the United States, and all 50 states have contacted me. In fact, um, Washington, D.C. has contacted me, and they're not a state, they have a special position there. But all the people have been really concerned about the child protection system because it is corrupt, it is evil. Now, we hopefully get some more people in there. The times they give you, by the way, are Pacific Standard Time. That means I'm the West Coast in California. So if you're in the Mountain Time, you're 1 hour ahead of me. Then in the Central Time, you're 2 hours ahead of me, like Texas. When you're in Ohio, you're 3 hours ahead of me. And then when you're in England, you're 8 hours ahead of me. Then France, you're 9 hours. And Africa, you're 9 hours. Then it drops again. Today was really hard for me because, as I said, I had a family issue that came up that really disturbed me a lot. I'm just thankful to be here and do this live stream. Now, when you text this message, it's very important that you talk about your case from beginning to where you're at the moment. And I will answer it. Another way you can interact with this live stream is that you can be a guest on my live stream. You just pick one of my 14 shows and send me your name, your email, and your phone number through my email. That's that's B Pace at vincentwdaves.com. And I will contact our show producer, Grace, who will schedule a time for you to get on. Now, when you're on my guest on the show, the rules are simple. We do not talk about politics or bring up other things other than the child protection system. Whoops, let me adjust the camera a little bit. Sorry. Looks like I was looking down at my notes. I have some notes in front of me too. Now, another rule is that we have no profanity allowed on the show, no eating or smoking. Furthermore, um, we're here to support one another. Hello, Di Manny Quinn 05. How are you tonight? And wakey wakey to you. Is that an Australian word for wakey wakey? I have notes in front of me, so when my head lowers, it's not because I'm going to sleep, it's I'm looking at my notes in front of me. If I put the notes up high, it'll block my face on the screen. So I hope you put the place you're from, Di. I'd like to know what part of the world are you from? And what is your case? I'd love to help you. Okay? And hello, Erin from Tennessee. I know Erin, she's been on the show lots of times. She's worried about losing her terminal rights from her other children. She has already lost from a boy and girl already. They've terminated her rights, her educational and her medical rights. Mm. Oh boy. Mm. Mm. Erin is from Tennessee, and she's a really strong woman. Oh, I'm so happy Erin got to see her son. That is great. That's great, Erin. Erin's been struggling to get visitations with her son, and I'm so glad you got to see him today. That's good news, Erin. Thank you for sharing. Erin's from Tennessee. We don't know where Di is from. You may be from a country like Australia. Now, if you guys have a question, I can help answer your question. There are 5 rules I've come up with. I could talk about the rules, but you've heard them so many times, they're saturated on my show. Mm. Oh, Aaron, those are beautiful. Oh, look at your baby, Aaron. You look like a proud mother. Oh, wow, Aaron. I like your picture. I like your picture, Aaron. Thank you. Looks like he's got a fun toy to play with. How old is your how old is your boy, Aaron? He must be about, oh, I think he's probably about 2 years old, maybe. Thank you for sharing that, Aaron. All right, we're waiting for Aaron to answer the question. Um, oh, he's 20 months. Okay. I had guessed he's about 3. So if he was 3, it'd be 36 months. So he's almost over 2 years. Oh, okay. Okay. He'll be 2 in March. He'll be 2 in March. Okay. All right. Waiting for some responses here. Please put your questions up if you have any questions. I'd love to help. Now I'm going to go silent for one moment. I'll be right back. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to take a call in, and it was a private call. And I didn't want the messages to be messed up on your end here on the show. Now, you guys can call in. Aaron, I'd ask a question. Um, well, actually, what's the latest, Aaron, with your 20-month-old? I think you said you lost your termination of your rights with your other two children, right? I think that's what happened. Mm. Yes, Aaron, that was hard for me to swallow. Did you ever try to appeal your lost your termination rights? Because, um, boy, that is sad. That is sad. That's one of the saddest stories that I've heard of is where a mother has lost her two children, and and the attorney lied on the stand, did nothing to protect you, and now they want to do the same thing again with your 20-month-old son. That's wrong. That's really wrong out there. If everybody's listening, that's the sad part to hear. Now we had Di Maniquin in, but I have yet to hear anything from him. If you have a CPS question, please ask me. Also, what part of the world are you from? And I don't know if Wakey Wakey is an Australian for something else, but anyway, Wakey Wakey to you too. With Di Mannequin, that's a hard name to understand because you have a message that you're trying to get across. But I'm able to listen to you and I want to help you. I do want to help you. My court-appointed attorney for my appeal claimed he sent in the appeal a week and a half before the time was up. He called after the last day and they had received it. Oh boy, that's a lie. He should have sent it certified mail. That's the problem. He was a court-appointed attorney. See, that's why you need a real attorney. You need somebody like Vincent Davis. And his number's up, by the way. I'm going to put my number up too. By the way, I haven't put my number up, but I've got my number here that you can call in. There's my number. It's 626-698-0990. You can call in. The other number is the law office of Vincent W. Davis. You can call in at 888-888-6582. When you call in, make sure you tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And when you speak to Mr. Davis, make sure you tell him that Bob Pace sent you. Also, when you talk to reception, make sure that you can also ask for guides or handbooks or anything else help fight CPS. They're available. There's one called the Grandparents Guide, a step by step to adopt your grandkids. And it's for California, but can use for other states and for parents, mother and father, because it's a step by step guide. And it's $9.99. But if you use this discount coupon of all capital letters PACE 50, you'll get it off for half off, less than $5. You'll get that guidebook. It's a grandparent's guide to adopt your grandchildren. It's a step by step guide. Families is really important. What's so sad is CPS is corrupt. They're all out there for money. It's a sad state of affairs. Now I have both numbers up. One is the law offices, 888-888-6582. The other is my live stream number. It's 626-699-0990. And that is its own separate number and separate line. We answer it. Um, Um, okay, let's see here. What else we got here? Um, all right. Does anyone have any questions? I'm here to take questions. They want to know about ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1978, or how about filing a 388 motion, or what a 160 hearing or 180 hearing is? What about a case plan? Uh, what about adjudication? There's all kinds of different things I can help you on. I've formulated 5 rules that if I had followed them, I would never have my kids taken from me. I never would have. And I did not realize you're dealing with someone who's very corrupt. And still today, talking about it, I still find where they're corrupt. Now, since no one is talking, I'm just going to talk about my rules. It may get awful boring, but rule 1 is you have to get an attorney. The attorney's got to be trained, educated, and licensed in the area of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. They should have experience fighting CPS, and even more important, they should be able to sue CPS in a civil lawsuit. That's what my attorney, Vincent Davis, can do. He's very much experienced. He's been fighting CPS for 45 years and got back numerous children to their families. Now, this attorney you need to hire, you can search the internet for it. And that brings up my rule number 4 is how to search the internet. Now, you can use AI. There's Chat GPT that's good, or Gemini on Google Chrome. But it's important how you phrase your question. You want to start off by the city and then the state, and then you got to put the country if you're outside of the country. You don't need to put USA if you're state in the USA. And then you want to put after that CPS. And then you can write down what you want to find in CPS, like so with this attorney, Vincent will do it your case, but he will charge. Now, depending on your case, whether it's complex or how long it's going on, it would depend on the price. But right now, for LA County, he'll take your case for approximately $5,000. That's not a firm price. It's at $500 an hour, our attorney, but again, that's not a permanent price there. Like I was given a quote for Atlanta, Georgia, is 125. The reason why the retainer was big because they had to cover the airfare from LA to Atlanta, Georgia, and then it's got to cover the hotel and accommodations and the food while he's eating while he's there, and then anything like the license. There's a license you have to get. It's too expensive to renew your license in all the states. Now, another aspect about getting an attorney is to have legal insurance. Now, I don't mean um, there's several kinds of legal insurance. There's some that's really cheap that help you out with your wills and simple things. But for DUIs, CPS cases, even divorces, you need to have a real attorney. And so they will cost, money, and they should have the time to do it. So now, um, looking for an attorney is kind of hard, but you should ask two questions. Question one, when you find them on the internet, you search it this way on the internet. Right after the word CPS, right after the letter CPS, you put down looking for a juvenile law, dependency law, uh, family lawyer. And a bunch of names will pop out. And when you talk to them, you need to know two questions. One, have they ever fought CPS and won cases against them? If the answer is yes, that's a good sign. Then question two will be, is okay. I looked at my notes, and it further says that the second question after the first is answered, have they ever, fought CPS and won cases against them? Then the second one is, have they ever done a lawsuit both in civil or federal court and won money back from them? If the answer is yes, it's a double whammy. That's a candidate for you to pick from. You further have to do an interview with them to see how the chemistry between you two are and whether you agree on the terms. But that's all there is. That's my rule number 4 in my rules there. Rule 1 is get an attorney. Rule 2 is to document everything. You need to get that notebook going, and you got to have dividers in the notebook, and you place them every so often. Okay, looking further in my notes. Oh, your caseworker lied on the stand. Okay, I was confused, Darren. I was confused. So anyway, back to find that attorney. If the answer is yes to the first question, they have fought CPS and won, and the answer is yes to the second question, where they have sued them and won the case, then that's a double whammy. That's a good sign. That's the attorney you need to interview further by coming to see them and find how much the retainer will be. But it is all about money. And I'm really sad to say that none of it's right. None of it's right. So, getting an attorney is an important thing because it's like fighting open heart surgery. You need a skilled person that's trained and educated in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Now, my second question or my second rule is to document everything. You should get yourself a notebook, 3-ring binder, and you want to get organization tabs so you can classify everything. So you can classify everything. You want to separate your documents, the court documents from the social services documents. You want to put a tab there for all your certificates in the classes you take or the programs you take. Now, further on this notebook, you should create a page from notebook paper and you should list all your incidents, whether they're with the court or with the judges or with the police or the CPS social worker, your neighbor, where the case is. You list a line item by line item. You devote 3 lines to each incident. Your first line will be the line of where you met. Was it someplace you went and the address, or was it something you called on the phone? Do you want to place a phone number? Also, you want to have it so that your phone is able to hold 15 yards. So, okay. Um, this notebook, and when you put the date and the time of the incident, you want to follow with where it was located. Is the street address or was it done over the phone? You put the phone number, then put the people that were involved. Who was involved with this incident? Your second line will be a summary what the incident was all about. It's a 1-line summary of what the incident was about. The third is going to be the answer of the summary. And so you want to use that format with each incident on a notebook paper. Put it in your binder, your CPS binder. And hmm, okay, flip to the next page. We want to talk about the um, the entrance into your home or how you contacted them. If they happen to come knock on the door, you don't want to answer the door. You want to go to the back part of the house. They have to have a reason to enter your place. They have where violence is taking place and children's being harmed. If they hear sounds like that, they will break in. Now, if you let them in, or your mother-in-law or a family member does, you'll serve the consequences because that's usually life for them to look at your place, whether there's incidents that can help out your daughter. Okay. Um, I'm a knocking, and it's so hard not to answer it. But the rule was taught we're young: don't answer the door to strangers. You want to go to the back part of the house and be quiet. There's only three ways you can get in. One, if they hear the child in danger. Two, they have a warrant. Three, they hear a commotion taking place, yelling or screaming. Also, you got to watch out the medical trafficking. This is where you bring your kids into urgent care and CPS shows up and starts interfering with you taking care of your children in school. Also, they interfere with the um, so what you can do, they may produce a warrant. If you don't answer the door and quiet, you won't see the warrant. If you have to be outside, tell them that you want your court-appointed attorney present because you ask them, is this a legal matter? If it is a legal matter, you have the right to request attorney if attorney's not provided by one. So it's really important you know the rules and the laws about that. Now, another thing is called medical trafficking. You got to be careful about medical trafficking. That's where they hang out at urgent care, the emergency room. They overhear something and then make you do something you don't necessarily do it. A lot of parents want a second opinion if the doctor says this is wrong or this has to be do it. So, with that being said, you got to be careful there. Hi, Betty Joe. Yeah, I'm really tired, Betty Joe, but I have my notes in front of me, so I keep referring down to them. I'm kind of discouraged. I had a family issue come up today that prevented me from being on the morning show, so I'm making up the morning show tonight with the evening show. Anyway, I really care about you guys. I really want to help you there. But when you talk about CPS over and over and over, it can get really discouraging. I know how discouraging it must feel for you to get your niece back. Betty Joe's from Montana. She's a foster care mother, a beautiful lady who is trying her darnest to get her brother's child adopted so that she could raise the child. Right now, the child's stuck with a stranger down in Nebraska. She's from Montana, but she wants to bring the child home because they should be with family members they can recognize, not with strangers. Especially strangers have alternative motives. They just want the money. They think they get money if they take care of your child. Anyway, um, you know, people like Aaron come back here time after time. Her story is really tragic. Her attorney was so corrupt that they didn't do the appeal for her time of termination of her physical and educational rights. And that saddens me. That saddens me a lot. Also, it saddens me what they've been doing to other people in the system. I've talked to a lot of people in here and they're harming parents. They shouldn't be. Family reunification should be serious. There's a stupid incentive out that was passed in 1997 that Clinton signed into law that said basically they'll give $35,000 for every child that's adopted into foster care. Not every child needs to go to foster care. There are good, loving parents. And if the parents have to screw up, they can be parts that can be taken to so they can sit at the table. It'll be special enough, is what it does. It'll be special enough. Well, it's hard. My two boys, they're finally out on their own, but they're so messed up by CPS. They have perceptions of wrong things. And it's really affected my wife bad times because she is crying every day. And after her daughter was taken away, our daughter, it's been the hardest thing for us to swallow. We got back to two boys. We still have our other children, but the rest of the family has been kind of alienated towards us because we're involved in CPS. Everything that CPS is bad, has a bad stigma. The idea behind CPS is good because we want to protect our children from neglect and abuse. We just have to go a right about way. We got to be sincere that if we're going to take parents, children away, that we give them attorneys they can use for the case because it takes a kind of a legal matter to resolve it. But like anything else, Betty, um, when your hands are tied and you can't do anything about it, that's what makes it really hard. When they're that corrupt that they hurt people. It's like the parents that had a 4-month-old child that they misdiagnosed the child. The social worker insisted it was appendicitis, but it wasn't her appendix. Her, her appendix was removed, but it didn't need to be removed. It was her gallstones. And that's the sad part to hear about. Now, so far, we've had Betty Joe from Montana in the room, Aaron from Tennessee, and then we have Di, and I have no idea where you're from, Di, but welcome. Welcome. Now, my number is up there if anybody wants to call in. It's 626 698 0990. The other number, 888 is the law office of Vincent W. Davis, and you can hire him right now. He's available. Another bad case is when parents go to have their children, they take the children away with the umbilical cord still on them. So it's very important that we don't give up and we keep fighting for our kids. Now, Aaron, do you have anything further you'd like to ask Bob here, or Betty Joe? You have anything to ask Bob, or what the latest is? And also, I'd like to know where Di is from. Also, like to know where Di is from. Now it's 8 o'clock, so my show goes to 8. I got to take down my phone number because I can't take any more calls. I'm going to put on Doge up, which is the Department of, well, where did it go? Hold on a second. Okay, the Department of Government Efficiency is what Doge is known as. They have a website that will tell you all about them. They're investigating other government entities that may be bad. Because I know now they're investigating social services, and the child protection system is a part of social services. So you can go to that website and see what they're doing, looking at the events they're looking like that. And you can see how many hours that they've consumed or whatever the case may be. But they wanted to explore all the government waste. And that's what he's doing right now when President Trump enacted the new government entity called the Department of Government Efficiency. Short name is Doge. Now, when you go to that website, they can offer you a job there on that website. They offer you a full time job working for them with a salary job. It's not an hourly job, it's a salary job. Now, they also have phone numbers. The area code 202 is the White House, and both numbers do work. You can call them. And if you have questions, you can do that. Also, they have an email at doge@mail.house.gov that you can send your complaint. Now, how it works is your first start at the county level to try to resolve your case. You talk to a supervisor, a manager, or the director of CPS, and you try to work something out. I tried to, I got nowhere. In fact, it made my case worse. The more I pushed, the more hard I was, the more they hardened my case. It was really sad. So anyway, this government efficiency works after you go from the county to the state. Now, at the state level, you need to talk to the civil rights coordinator. If it doesn't work out, you're not satisfied there, then you go to the government Department of Government Efficiency. And they have two phone numbers. Area code 202 is the White House, and they should be able to help you out there. Now, the email, you can send your email to them at doge, at mail.house.gov. And you can put your complaint why it's not working in your area. They need to know. We also reporting. We should be reporting wrongdoings with CPS. They're they're really tough. They really are tough. And the only attorney I see really fight them is Vincent Davis. He really knows how the argument is pointed across. Now, I can't forget the fifth rule. That is to put copies of all your documents in an envelope. Things like your marriage certificate, your birth certificate, your driver's license, the children's birth certificate, their shot cards, and their school records, your report cards, the grades, and so forth, the days they missed, and everything. So it's really, really important that you do that. It really is. It really is important there. Okay. Now, I want everybody to know that these five rules: one, get yourself a real attorney; two, do the notebook and document everything; three, say no to social workers; say no to let your children going, and no home inspection; and watch your children at medical and urgent care or emergencies. And when you have a baby, you don't need to have your child taken away from you. And four is to use the internet wisely and research it the right way and look it up and spend a lot of time. There's so much information on the internet you can find that I've learned so much there. And lastly, Um, you got to be careful because they will lie, they will cheat. For instance, there's some stories like in Prescott, Arizona. There's the case of the pink shirt ladies. Um, these pink these pink ladies, as I call them, because they have pink T-shirts, nothing to do with being pregnant or the not being pregnant. I'm sorry, breast cancer awareness. But what they wanted to do, they wanted stencil on. They stencil on a message in white lettering. Then the front they said the professional child kidnappers. On the back they said, do you know where your parents? You know, it said parents. Do you know where your children are? Now those messages were really wrong and evil. And all 8 of these ladies did so and prayed around at all the big stores in Prescott, Arizona. And it caused horror among the residents of Prescott, Arizona. They called in, and those 8 social workers were fired. They were fired along with the director of CPS, and actually they call theirs the Department of Children's Services. It's DCS. Well, he was fired as well as 8 caseworkers. Well, that pretty much eliminated the whole department, left one person to protect her children. And that one person tried to do his best, but it was overwhelming. So, anyway, just to tell you the kind of people they are, that's one way they did that. That was a terrible, mean thing to do. Now, in my case, it was also horrible because my daughter was tricked and misguided and led to believe that she could divorce her parents, which in California you can. But things like having your birth certificate sealed, Ridge wanted to get a new one else, so she got a double Social Security card. She was double dipping for my Social Security fund. And that's wrong. Also, if she's going to be adopted out, I'm no longer responsible to give money for her. That money is my retirement. I only request the money because when I lost my job in 2010, I need some additional help. And so that's why um, I requested, because if you are a senior and you have young children, you can, if you're retired, you can get additional money for your children to help take care of them. And that's what I was doing. But it was ludicrous. This social worker lied on the stand. She committed perjury, and we could have nailed her. And she took this thing against us as parents, where she ruined it with our relationship with her children. But anyway, it's been a nice on the show to talk to you for this length of time. Um, and I really do care about what happens to you, and I really do want to help you. All you have to do is ask me questions, and I can help you on that. But you got to keep looking for your right child. You got to not give up. I've not given up. I still want my daughter back. I still have a lawsuit pending that I can take against her, and I can still do that. Where I had to actually sell my home to get lawyer fees. I quick sell my home. That's how desperate I was to get my family back together. And sad. Now, I've had 43 years of marriage experience, and 61 years of life skills. I've worked that long. I know a lot of things. Like I was telling you earlier, you need to get legal insurance that can pay for your legal fees. And it is available, just like life insurance or household insurance or car insurance or car repair insurance, or house repair insurance. There's all these insurance premiums you can get. You need to look into legal. And I don't mean like legal Zoom where you pay a small fee for doing a will or a testimony. I'm talking about a real attorney that can help you fight on a DUI or a divorce or whatever the case may be. So that's what you really have to look at that. You have to really look at that. So don't give up. Keep fighting. Just be careful. Do not talk to social workers. Anything you say to them will be used against you. Try to get your attorney aboard. Try to come up with the money for your attorney. And you have a court-appointed attorney, it's more hard work for you because you got to make them work for you. You got to make them work for you. So anyway, I've talked about my 5 rules. I've had no one ask me questions tonight. I'm surprised I haven't seen Cruella. She's from Oxnard, California, and she usually comes in every night. And to all my listeners out there, it's time to wrap up this show. I want to thank Betty Jo from Montana for dropping by. I want to thank Aaron from Tennessee for doing the same thing, dropping by. And I want to thank Di for dropping by. I have no idea where he's from, but hello there, Di. I hope you come back again. And I want to thank all my other listeners and so forth. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. in the morning. That's 10 a.m. in the morning for the live stream. And I look forward to meeting you and talking to you and helping out with your problem. Now, some of you have called back several times for a couple days. I work through your problem. I'll help you. All you have to do is call and ask. I'm on twice a week. Twice a day, I should say. 7 days a week. That's 14 live streams. So I want to thank you all. Make sure if you want to Zoom that you send it to my email. That's that's bpace@vincentwdavis.com. And I'm glad you put you as a guest. And I have up to 9 of you as a guest. So anyway, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Keep fighting for your children. Never give up. There'll be a brief video after I sign off. Please watch it. God bless you all, and good night.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against then it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last one.